What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the channel. Hope y'all are having a fantastic day so far. Today we're going to be taking a look at two of the most legendary CPUs, in my opinion, that were ever launched in the early 2010s. We're going to be taking a look at i5-3470 and AMD's FX 8320. Both of these CPUs absolutely punched above their weight class and were some of the best budget CPUs that you could find at that time. These are two insane CPUs that are they're absolute legends. So starting off with the i5-3470, this thing was launched all the way back in 2012. This is when PC gaming was exploding, everyone was trying to squeeze the most frames out of their rigs without breaking the bank, and this is when Intel quietly dropped a little powerhouse into the world, the i5-3470. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't overhyped, and it definitely wasn't the CPU that made headlines, but man, this thing freaking worked. So this CPU was built on Intel's new 22nm Ivy Bridge architecture. The 3470 came marching in with 4 physical cores, unfortunately no hyper-threading, and it did have a base clock of 3.2 GHz. However, it did boost all the way up to 3.6 gigs when it felt like showing off. It didn't pretend to be an i7, but it didn't need to. It was that reliable. Blue-collar CPU that clocked in every morning just to do its job. You know, when you needed to do something, it did it. Gamers loved it, budget builders loved it, office PCs loved it. Honestly, everybody loved this CPU. So you go ahead, you pair that with a mid-range GPU for its time, like a GTX 660 or even an HD 7850, or you can definitely go a lot spicier, like the 1070 that we're going to be using in our builds today to pit the two against each other. Suddenly you had a legit gaming machine that didn't care what year it was. So the fun part, today, more than a decade later, you'll still find this thing living quietly inside old Optiplexes, ThinkSetters, even dusty e-waste PCs just waiting for someone like us to bring them back to life. So you stick an SSD in this thing, slap in 8 to 16 gigs of DDR3, throw in a decent GPU, and boom, this warrior stands back up and it says, I'm not done yet. The 3470 isn't legendary because of raw power. It's legendary because of longevity, reliability, and how insanely good it still is for people on a budget to this day. This is definitely a true relic of the era and one of the best bang for your buck CPUs Intel ever slipped in the market for its time. And yes, this thing will still play modern titles till this day. So with that being said, let's go ahead. We're going to move on to the FX 8320. So also back in 2012, AMD walked into the room with swagger and was like, I got one for you guys. The FX 8320 was their budget-friendly 8-core, quote-unquote, bruiser built on the infamous Piledriver architecture. It didn't come to win benchmark charts. It came to shake up the industry, stir up a little bit of controversy, and give Intel the finger. Gotta frickin' love it. So on paper, this CPU looked like a monster. Supposedly it had the 8 cores, had a base clock of 3.5 GHz, it could turbo up to 4 GHz, and a massive 125 watt TDP that doubled as a space heater in the winter. So behind the scenes, the chip was built out of 4 modules, each containing 2 integer cores that shared certain resources, which is how AMD essentially got away with calling it the 8 core. Now, a lot of gamers argued, a lot of reviewers were debating, Intel fanboys, you know, they were laughing. When it comes to 8320, it didn't really care about efficiency. It didn't care about power draw, it just wanted to overclock, get loud, and punch way above its price tag. Builders loved it because with a decent motherboard and a beefy cooler, you could crank this thing all the way up to 4.6 GHz, which, for its time, that's pretty insane. So, kind of the same story when it comes to today, you'll find this thing hiding in old gaming rigs, dusty e-waste piles, and forgotten Craigslist towers, just waiting for one of us to bring it back to life. So in my opinion, this thing isn't a legend because it was the best. It's a legend because it was bold, weird, definitely misunderstood, and way more capable than anyone gave it credit for. So when it comes to these two systems, they're both going to be tested on identical scenarios. They're both going to have 16 gigs of RAM, they're both going to be running at 1600 mega transfers per second, they're both going to have a 500 gig SSD. When it comes to AMD and Intel, I don't have a personal favorite. Honestly, I respect both of them equally. So I want both of them to have the best fighting chance possible. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead, we're going to test these in a slew of games, we're going to see which one does better, and see which one has the best price to performance. I hope you guys enjoy. This is going to be freaking awesome. Well, there you have it, you guys. That is 2012 had to offer for Intel and AMD. Definitely not bad on either side. I definitely wish that we could have gotten more performance out of our AMD CPU, but it definitely performed better than I was expecting. Had we put it against its bigger brother, the FX 9590 or the FX 8350, we might have seen closer comparisons. And when it comes to this comparison, I would have loved to have done the 2500K, but unfortunately I cannot get my hands on one in time for this video. An awesome brawl. They both performed way above their weight class. Until next time, you guys, I will catch you in the next one. Stay safe in the world.